In this video, we're going to look at how do we go about simplifying algebraic expressions. The first thing it's important to understand is what are like terms. Like terms are terms that have the same variables raised to the same power. So an example of like terms would be something like 3x and 5x. They both have an x raised to the first power. I could also say that 5x squared y and negative 2x squared y are like terms because they both have an x squared y as their variables. Now, what are not like terms, so these are like terms. What are not like terms are things such as 3x squared and 5x. Because here, even though the variable is both x, I have x squared and I only have x. So these would not be like terms. Similarly, if I was to have 7x squared y and I was to have 9x squared y z, this would not be a like term because what I have for variables does not match up exactly. And that's going to be important. The variables raised to the powers have to match up exactly. When I begin to look at how I go about combining like terms, let's say I take the 3x and I want to add 5x to it. What I'm basically going to do is combine the coefficients, add the coefficients together. So 3 plus 5 is going to equal 8. So I have 8 x's, which makes sense. If I have 3 apples and I add 5 apples, I have 8 apples. So if I have 3 x's and I add 5 x's, I get 8 x's. What if I have negative 2x squared plus 3y plus 5x squared plus 2? I need to figure out where the like terms are. So my first thing is to underline or somehow circle. I've got the 2x squared and I've got the 5x squared. They're both terms with x squareds in. So negative 2 plus 5 is going to give me 3x squared. After that I've got the 3y, which is by itself, and then the plus 2, which is by itself as well. Now just a caution when we're looking at these. Okay, when I begin looking at these, if I have something like 3x minus 2 plus 5x minus 10, what's important to realize is if I were to branch these off, I deal with the 3x, I would have a minus negative 2, I would have a positive 5, and I would have a negative 10. So these, I would do the 3 plus the 5x to get 8x. Then I would do the negative 2 minus 10 to give me minus 12. What's important to realize here is that the subtraction sign will actually make the number that comes after it negative. Okay. One other little detail, if I had something like x plus x, what is not written is it's a 1x plus a 1x, which would give me an answer of the 2x. The one other topic I'd like to look at is the distributive property, because this is used a lot when simplifying expressions. The distributive property happens when I have a number in front of parentheses. So something like this. I have 3 times the quantity x minus 2. So what I need to do is I need to distribute the 3 to each of the parts of the parentheses. So 3 times x gives me 3x. I keep the subtraction sign, and then I do 3 times 2, which gives me 6. So when distributing, I need to make sure that I take the number that's directly in front of the parentheses and I distribute. I give it to both of the values that are within the parentheses, or all 3 or all 4, however many terms there are in parentheses. Terms are basically quantities that are separated by plus or minus signs. So I need to give that to each of these. So anyway, hopefully this has been helpful. We'll be practicing these for the next day or two at least.